the world held its breath. A new era for the Catholic Church was dawning. All eyes turned to Vatican City, to the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica. There stood Pope Tagle. His first message as pontiff would reverberate through history. A hush fell over the massive crowd. Millions more watched on screens across the globe. Anticipation crackled in the air. It was a moment heavy with history, thick with expectation. This was more than just a speech. It was a promise. Pope Tagle, a figure of humility and warmth, stood before the world. His presence was a beacon of light in a time of uncertainty, a symbol of hope and compassion. As he gazed out over the sea of faces, there was a palpable sense of anticipation in the air. The crowd, gathered from all corners of the globe, looked up to him with a mixture of reverence and expectation. He bore the weight of centuries on his shoulders. The legacy of those who came before him, the traditions and the teachings, all rested upon him now. It was a heavy burden, but one he carried with grace and dignity. The history of the papacy, with its triumphs and tribulations, was now part of his story. Yet he seemed energized, not burdened. There was a vitality in his step, a spark in his eyes that spoke of a deep inner strength. It was as if the weight of the past had only served to fortify his resolve, to deepen his commitment to his mission. A gentle smile graced his lips. It was a smile that conveyed warmth and kindness, a smile that reached out and touched the hearts of those who saw it. In that moment it was clear that Pope Tagle was not just a leader but a shepherd to his flock. His eyes shone with a deep and abiding faith. They were eyes that had seen much, that had witnessed both the beauty and the suffering of the world, and yet they were filled with hope, a hope that was rooted in a profound belief in the goodness of humanity and the mercy of God. His voice, when he spoke, was soft yet steady. It was a voice that carried with it a sense of calm and reassurance, a voice that could soothe even the most troubled of hearts. Each word was chosen with care, each phrase delivered with a quiet conviction. It carried across the vast square, reaching every heart. The crowd listened in rapt attention, hanging onto his every word. In that moment, it was as if the entire world had come to a standstill, united in their desire to hear his message. "My brothers and sisters," he began, his words echoing in countless languages. There was a universality to his message, a sense that it transcended borders and cultures. He spoke to the core of what it means to be human, to the shared experiences and aspirations that bind us all together. Each syllable resonated with a profound love for humanity. It was a love that was evident in his every gesture, in the way he reached out to those in need, in the way he spoke of compassion and understanding. His words were a balm to the weary, a source of strength to the downtrodden. He spoke of the challenges facing the world, the issues that plagued humanity, the conflicts and the suffering were not ignored. He addressed them head-on, acknowledging the pain and the struggles that so many faced. War, poverty, and injustice cast long shadows. These were the realities that could not be denied, the dark clouds that loomed over the future. But even in the face of such daunting challenges, there was a glimmer of hope. But his words were not filled with despair. Instead, they offered hope. Hope that was grounded in action, in the belief that change was possible. He spoke of the power of community, of coming together to make a difference. Hope rooted in faith, in love, and in the boundless mercy of God. It was a message that resonated deeply, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a light to guide the way. Pope Tagle's words were a testament to the enduring power of hope, a beacon for all who heard them. Pope Tagle's message was a resounding call for unity, a plea for peace in a world often consumed by conflict. He urged people of all faiths and those of none to embrace dialogue, to choose understanding over division. He spoke of the interconnectedness of humanity, how our destinies are intertwined. His words were a balm on a wounded world, a reminder that we are all children of God, all deserving of love and respect. His message resonated deeply with people across the globe. In war-torn regions, his words offered a glimmer of hope for peace. In communities divided by hatred and prejudice, his message inspired reconciliation. Pope Tagle did not shy away from the challenges facing the Church. He acknowledged the need for reform. His words were not a condemnation, but a loving call for renewal. a return to the core values of the gospel. He emphasized the importance of listening to the voices of the marginalized, to those who have been hurt by the church. He promised to address the issue of clerical abuse with transparency and accountability. His words sparked both hope and debate within the church. Some saw his call for reform as long overdue. Others expressed apprehension about potential changes. Embracing the future. One of the most striking aspects of Pope Tagle's message was his outreach to young people. He recognized the challenges they face in a rapidly changing world. He spoke directly to their anxieties, their hopes, and their dreams. He invited them to be active participants in the church to help shape its future. He reminded them that they are not just the future of the church, they are its present. His words resonated deeply with young Catholics. Many felt seen and heard by their new shepherd. His message ignited a spark of hope for a more inclusive and vibrant church. As Pope Tagle concluded his message, a profound silence fell over St. Peter's Square. It was a silence born not of emptiness, but of awe, of hearts touched by his words. Then a wave of applause erupted. It rippled outward, echoing across the globe. From bustling cities to remote villages, people watched and listened. They prayed, they reflected, they dared to hope. Pope Tagle's message transcended language and culture. It spoke to the deepest longings of the human heart. In a world often fractured and divided, his words offered a vision of unity, a path towards peace. A reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope endures. Pope Tagle's first message sent shockwaves through the Catholic world. His words were both a comfort and a challenge. They offered a vision of a church that was both ancient and ever new. A church rooted in tradition, yet open to the promptings of the Spirit. His emphasis on unity, peace, and reform signaled a new direction, a path that would require courage, compassion, and a willingness to engage with the complexities of the modern world. His message sparked intense discussion and debate within the church. Some embraced his vision wholeheartedly. Others expressed reservations, urging caution and careful discernment. As the world reflects on Pope Tagle's historic message, one thing is clear. His words have touched the hearts of millions, transcending borders and cultures. His papacy is poised to be a transformative one. With a vision that embraces both tradition and modernity, Pope Tagle seeks to guide the Church through the complexities of the 21st century. His unwavering faith, his deep humility, and his profound love for humanity offer a beacon of hope in a troubled world. In every gesture, in every word, he embodies the essence of compassion and understanding. Only time will tell what the full impact of his papacy will be. Yet the seeds of change he has planted are already beginning to sprout, promising a future where the Church stands as a pillar of unity and peace. But one thing is certain. Pope Tagle's message of unity, peace, and reform will continue to resonate for generations to come. His call for inclusivity and dialogue has inspired countless individuals to look beyond their differences and find common ground. His legacy will be one of bridge building, of dialogue, and of a renewed commitment to the gospel message of love and mercy. Through his actions, he has shown that true leadership is not about power, but about service and dedication to the well-being of others. It is a legacy that holds the promise of a brighter future for the Church and for the world. As we look ahead, we are reminded that the path to a better tomorrow is paved with faith, hope, and love. Pope Tagle's first message was more than just a speech. It was a heartfelt expression that transcended words, reaching into the very souls of those who listened. His voice carried the weight of centuries of faith and the lightness of a new dawn, blending tradition with a fresh vision for the future. It was a prayer, a promise, a call to action. His words were not just meant to be heard, but to be felt deeply, to stir the hearts and minds of people from all walks of life. They were a beacon of hope, guiding us through the darkness and reminding us of our shared humanity. It was a reminder that even in the face of immense challenges, hope endures. The sunset over St. Peter's Square symbolized the end of one chapter and the beginning of another, filled with the promise of a brighter tomorrow. The candles held by the crowd were not just sources of light, but symbols of their unwavering faith and resilience. His words continued to echo in the hearts of millions, They resonate with a timeless truth that transcends borders and cultures. The inspired faces in the crowd reflect the universal appeal of his message, a message that speaks to the core of our being and calls us to be better, to do better. They inspire us to build bridges of understanding. In a world often divided by differences, his message encourages us to find common ground, to reach out to one another with open hearts and minds. The interfaith gatherings are a testament to the power of unity and the beauty of diversity, to work for peace in our communities and in our world. His call to action is not just a lofty ideal, but a practical guide for everyday living. It challenges us to be peacemakers in our own lives, to foster harmony in our relationships, and to contribute to a more peaceful world. To embrace a faith that is both deeply personal and radically inclusive. His interactions with people from different backgrounds highlight the inclusive nature of his message. It is a faith that welcomes all, that sees the divine in every individual, and that calls us to love unconditionally. In a world hungry for hope, Pope Tagle's message offers nourishment for the soul. The hopeful faces in St. Peter's Square and the sunrise over the Vatican are powerful images of renewal and possibility. They remind us that no matter how dark the night, the dawn will always come, bringing with it new opportunities and new beginnings. A reminder that even in the darkest of nights, a new dawn awaits. The single candle lighting up in the dark is a powerful symbol of hope and resilience. It shows us that even the smallest light can dispel the darkness, that even the smallest act of kindness can make a difference. A dawn filled with the promise of unity, peace, and the transformative power of love. The sunrise filling St. Peter's Square with light and the people embracing in front of St. Peter's Basilica are beautiful images of hope and connection. They remind us that we are all part of a larger story, a story of love, compassion, and the enduring power of hope. Please subscribe to our Channel History Documentary Hub for more insightful videos and intriguing content.